Tens of thousands of locals and tourists have fled Greek islands in the past days as fires raged. I'm joined now by Greece's Tourism Minister, Όλγα Κεφαλογιάννη. Great to see you, Minister. Thank you very much for taking the time. Look, it has been a difficult week for you, for locals, for tourists as well. Can you give me a sense of the danger zones right now and the status of evacuations?
First of all, thank you very much for your invitation and for giving me the opportunity to clarifying the circumstances in Greece. The really difficult situation we have faced these days has been on the island of Rhodes. And even there, the problem was in an area of the island which was almost 10 to 15% of the total area of the island. So in reality, we were obliged on Saturday evening, because of the wildfires, to evacuate 19,000 people, actually people who were here for holidays, and we had to evacuate them and redirect them. 16,000 were transported by land and 3,000 were transported by sea. This happened in a matter of a couple of hours. And we managed to have these people very safely put in safe places. So this is the most important message, that despite the disruption, and I understand that it's been an inconvenience for everyone, safety is our top priority. And what is very important is that 19,000 people were moved safely into safe places.
So, Minister, I've got this question for you. I mean, you say that it's 10 to 15% of roads, but even with that small percentage, let's be realistic here. This prompted the largest evacuation of this kind that Greece has ever conducted. Certainly a Herculean task. You were able to do it in just a few hours, but we've seen the reports, we've spoken to many tourists, and we've seen what locals are experiencing as well. How were you prepared logistically to be able to manage this? And if the percentages were larger, would you be able to deal with a bigger number of people?
Well, thank you for the question. It's true that this has been the biggest mobilization that Greece has ever faced. And I think it was indeed a Herculean task to be able to move all these people in a couple of hours. You understand that the whole, the island of Rhodes during this peak tourist season was not able to accommodate everyone in hotel rooms. So we needed to open up public spaces, sports facilities, conference centers, schools. So in a matter of just minutes, this was able, and we provided shelter to all these people. They were provided with food, with water, with medical supervision. The locals were mobilized, and I think this is the most important thing to stress, that we had so many volunteers, people bringing sheets and towels from their homes to make sure that everyone had the necessary equipment, and the people from Rhodes really taking care of all the visitors. And this is something that I felt and I was able to discuss with a lot of these people who needed to be evacuated, and they were thanking the people of Rhodes.
For the sake of time, I'm sorry, for the sake of time, and I hear you on just how the locals get mobilized. It's incredible. In fact, I was in Evia in 2021, and I experienced firsthand these raging wildfires, and I saw just how locals mobilize. It's incredible what they do. But the issue here remains preparedness. And one of the big issues that I saw on the ground, speaking to locals, they said to me, look, we're worried that we're going to be forgotten, that we know this is going to happen again. Government knows the wildfire season is going to happen again, and they're probably not going to do much. So my question now becomes, how prepared are you for wildfire season? And what interventions have you made specifically in Evia, where there are fires again, an island that barely recovered from what we saw in 2021?
Well, let me just say that we have a special envoy for climate crisis, for climate change, because you understand that these wildfires are the unfortunate result of the climate crisis. And I think that this is something that all countries, especially in the Mediterranean region, have to be prepared for. So Greece is prepared. We have a very strict vigilance system. So this is why we were able to respond in a very, very quick manner. And you understand that the mobilization of forces was, of course, of the state, and the support of locals was important in order for us to be really, really successful, to safely put everyone
Minister, can I ask you this? I mean, were there any delays in getting the regional governments prepared in terms of activation of resources? Were there any delays for this wildfire season?
It was in a matter of hours that we were able to mobilize all forces. So it was the joint forces of the state, of the region, and of the local people that we were able to safely evacuate 19,000 people and put them in safe places. And actually being able also to have them in just a matter of 2 days, either flying back to their homes or going back to their vacation places in the original hotels that they had booked or in other hotels on the island of Rhodes. So actually we don't have a situation right now with evacuees. So in a matter of just 2 days, we were able both to evacuate and also
I
to
totally
accommodate.
Understand that.
Setting up also
absolutely, and you've had incredible responses, by the way, from the tourists saying that the Greek government really stepped up. So I appreciate that you clarified that. I want to talk about the wider picture here. The Greek economy relies on 20% of its GDP on tourism, which is quite significant. We've also heard reporting that there's been a lot more interest in other destinations like Bulgaria, Czech Republic, and the likes of Ireland. Are you worried about the impact of climate change, of heat, that it will have on the Greek economy?
First of all, it's true that tourism represents indirectly almost 20% of Greece's GDP. Greece has been a pioneer as a tourism destination for many, many decades. And we aim for Greece to be the pioneer in sustainable tourism in the years to come. We allocate funds, European funds, but also state funds for sustainable tourism and also an observatory for climate change and how it affects tourism in the Mediterranean region. So it's important to know that Greece is proactive. And what is most important is that Greece is a safe destination. And even in extraordinary conditions, we are able to mobilize our forces and make sure that everybody is safe. We have this special number 112, which I think is very unique. We have this 3-digit number that actually is able to inform and notify anyone in an area that is affected. So anybody who is in any place where there needs to be notification of evacuation or of any other sort is immediately notified. So I think we are pioneers in a lot of issues. It's unfortunate that
Minister,
we have that.
We've run out of time, but I want to ask you one last question. I'm sorry I keep interrupting. We have limited time with you, and I want to get as much out as possible. Look, airlines, tour operators had to step in to help tourists out. Who's going to foot the bill? Do you think there needs to be kind of an insurance mechanism where tourists feel like they're not going to be shouldering the burden should there an event like this occur again?
Yes, but first of all, let me clarify that there was no disruption in the airport. Flights were going in and out of Rhodes throughout this unfortunate situation. So it's important to know that there was no disruption in the airport. At the same time, we were in constant communication with the tour operators and the travel agents just to make sure that everybody's safe and that whoever wanted to go back home was able to do it, even though some people did not have their travel documents. We set up a special information desk at the airport to make sure that people were accommodated at the airport if they wanted to fly out. But in any case, I think that things are almost back to normal right now in Rhodes, and we would really expect the people who have booked holidays to come to Rhodes and to experience what Rhodes and Greece has to offer.
Minister. Thank you. We have to leave it there. I will be coming to Greece in August, just a couple of weeks, so I'll hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much, Minister of Tourism in Greece. Right, so